How's it going guys, Chris here, and in this guide we're going to be taking a look at those new weapons and abilities that came along in Atomic Heart's Annihilation Instinct DLC.
Should come in handy.
So the first new weapon you'll get to play around with is the Klusha. Basically a nasty looking shovel type thing with two long sharp blades attached to either side. Although it acts as a melee weapon, like a lot of the others you'll probably be used to using from the base game, the Klusha's got its own characteristics, being something that you'll be twirling around instead of swinging, dishing out double hits with every spin with slight pauses in between, forcing you to time your attacks at the right moment to get the most out of each twirl. This makes the Klusha a bit less spammable than some of the other melee weapons, having to get in a bit of a rhythm with those spins if you want to maximise their effectiveness, readjusting your aim for each strike to make sure every double hit is going to connect. Might take a bit of getting used to, having to stay on target while timing those strikes properly, but it's definitely one of the cooler melee weapons regarding its primary attack mode. Though if you want a more powerful singular swing, you could use the good old fashioned crushing blow, which you'll have to charge up to unleash a more powerful swing. A secondary attack that the Klusha shares with quite a lot of the other melee weapons. Not exactly anything too exciting, but still something that can give you a bit of extra punch when you need it most. Bringing time manipulation into the mix, the Techno-stasis is a new ability that you'll be able to use against your enemies, shooting out a pulse of energy which affects anything caught within range, creating a bubble around you which slows everything down, allowing you to move out of the way of oncoming attacks, pinpoint weak spots to take enemies out faster, and generally give yourself a bit of extra breathing room in the middle of a chaotic fight. Techno-stasis is only going to last a few seconds, and just like with the other glove abilities, you're going to need to wait around in between each use for it to charge back up again. But in a lot of situations, it can be a life-saving tool, preventing you from both taking a big chunk of damage, while allowing you to take down those faster moving robots easier, which in the Annihilation Instinct DLC, you're going to run into quite a lot. So easily the most badass and most interesting weapon of the DLC is a funky looking sci-fi gun called the Secateur, a pretty hefty piece of equipment with two very different fire modes. And this thing is basically the Dominator's faster firing laser beam flinging cousin, another bulky experimental weapon which shoots out energy shots, only this one's got its fire rate ramped right the way up, sending rapid streams of red bolts whizzing through the air to pepper your targets with shots. It can often be best to burst your fire to have better control of where those shots are going to go, as you'll often want to try and make them count as much as possible, as although the Secateur is capable of shredding through its victims and turning them into scrap, that high fire rate will cause the gun to run out of ammo which needs to be found in the environment or on dead robots in order for it to be replenished and used. Let's just say that you're going to need to reload the Secateur quite a lot, as that ammo isn't exactly going to last very long at all if you've constantly got that trigger pulled. As for the gun's secondary option however, this switches the Secateur into a laser cutter, kind of acting like the line gun from the Dead Space series. A really strong horizontal beam which you'll need to charge up to gain more power, but it's capable of slicing through your enemies with ease, even able to pass through multiple enemies, allowing you to clear the room even easier, providing you line your shots up properly that is. Something that can be helped out by Techno-stasis, to help keep enemies in place easier. Unlike the weapon's primary fire mode, the line launching secondary mode doesn't eat into your ammo reserves, functioning using your energy meter which charges up over time, and therefore might not need to be conserved as much. This not only means that you can use the weapon in several different ways, but you're also better equipped with an alternate backup option, for when either your ammo or energy runs dry. As far as weapons go in Atomic Heart, the Secateur can be a pretty punishing one. Though something that's even more punishing is a new power-up that can be found and used throughout the DLC, which is essentially a chocolate bar, which summons a vortex to the area to zap the living crap out of everything. Pretty wild. This is the Alionka, something you'll want to use sparingly down to it being in limited supply, which you'll be able to find throughout the complex, occasionally popping up in loot crates or hidden away in obscure spots. These things might be pretty rare, but they can really help to turn a fight into your favour, especially when the screen's littered with tons of enemies all charging towards you at once. Definitely something you'll want to try and hold on to unless you really need it. But when things are getting a bit hectic and uncontrollable, you can always rely on the Alionka to give you a nice little overpowered boost, unleashing a deadly storm of energy to help clear the way. So those are the new weapons and abilities you'll be able to use in Atomic Heart's Annihilation Instinct DLC. Hope you enjoyed the guide, give us a thumbs up if you did, and be sure to check out my other guides for Atomic Heart and a bunch of other games over on my channel. Thanks for watching guys, have a good day, and I'll be seeing you in that next one.